In this very moment, as you hear me, my son, my daughter, something is happening in the spiritual realm. And I want you to understand it clearly, with your heart fully awake. I am opening a door in your life, a door no one will be able to shut. This is not a distant metaphor or a vague hope. It is a heavenly reality manifesting over you now. It is a new time, a new path, a new breath. This door does not depend on your effort, your logic, or your ability to grasp the details. It is born from my purpose and opens not because you deserve it, but because I have decided the time has come. Yes, it is today. Yes, it is now. What you feel in this moment is not just emotion. It is the movement of my presence calling you into spiritual advancement, an invisible yet concrete transition, a step that redefines your path, your identity, and your access to the eternal. This door is alive. It is real. It is filled with anointing, and no past mistake, no current opinion, and no future opposition can seal what I, your God, have already released over your story. You are in the exact moment, just like the needle of a clock arriving at the mark I set. The world may look the same outside, the voices may still sound familiar, but something in the air has changed. I am moving the heavens over you. This is not just another day, not just another cycle. This is a complete spiritual shift. Access that was once blocked is now available. And you don't need to force anything, just walk in faith with a surrendered heart and your eyes fixed on me. Because this door is not the result of your insistence, but the fruit of my decision. I place you before something new, something alive, something full of my anointing. And when I open something new, it is not just to bring you out of where you were, it is to lead you into the fullness of who you are in me. Now listen closely, you are not being pushed, you are being invited. There are doors the world tries to force, manipulate, break locks, or bypass. But this one, the one now opening before you, is different. It is a door of honor, of alignment, of reconnection with what carries your name in heaven. Yes, I have doors with your name on them. I wrote your story with details you've yet to imagine, and each chapter contains hidden passages that only reveal themselves when your faith dares to walk beyond the obvious. This door is for those who hear me in the secret place, for those who remain when everything screams give up, for those who still say yes, even when surrounded by no. This door is an altar, a sacred crossing, a time when light shines into places darkened by confusion, doubt, and fear. That's why I now call you to cross the invisible with courage, to leave behind everything that doesn't align with my will for you. Walk without burdens, without fear, without masks. You don't need human approval to go through this door. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. I am your testimony. I am the one who sees in secret. I am the one who knows how much your heart belongs to me. Even when war rages inside you, even when your mind is restless, even when your body is weary, I know your inner being, and that's why I choose you now for this new time. Because your soul has reached the exact point of surrender. Because your mouth, even through groans, still says, I trust you. Because your eyes still search for me at dawn, because your hands, though trembling, still rise in prayer. I receive all of that as pure incense, as fragrance rising to my throne. And because of that, I open paths where there were only walls. I open connections beyond your ability. I open understanding that renews your mind. I open healing where there was chronic pain. I open joy where the soul was numb. I open direction where there was only confusion. And above all, I open your identity. Because this door I'm opening is not just for outward things, it's for you to rediscover who you are in me. You are an heir. You are chosen. You are the salt of the earth. You are light that will not be extinguished. And this door confirms what heaven has already whispered to your heart so many times. You were born for something greater, something eternal, something that blesses others, something with divine purpose. You feel things changing. People who were always close now grow distant. That is not loss, it's pruning. Opportunities that seem certain now vanish. That is not misfortune, it's liberation. Answers you seek don't come as expected. That is not silence, it's wisdom. Because what I'm doing now is too big to be understood in haste. I'm positioning you, I'm purifying you, I'm establishing you, I'm building your structure for what is coming. And all of it begins with this door. The door of choice, of holiness, of consecration, of spiritual advancement. And listen carefully, you are not alone. I'm with you in the middle of this journey. I don't just hand you a key and leave you lost. I walk with you to the other side. I hold your hand while the winds still blow. I whisper in your ear when the noise of doubt tries to stop you. I strengthen your legs when they're about to give way. I breathe with you when anxiety tries to crush your chest. I am your peace. I am your shield. I am your provider. And no one, absolutely no one, has the authority to shut what I open. So lift your eyes, raise your head, take a deep breath. The door is open, and if it's open, it means the time of paralysis is over. The time of merely watching is past. The time of waiting for something to change externally is over. Now is the time to move within. It's time to take spiritual steps, to live with the awareness that the kingdom has already come to you. And it's in that kingdom that your life aligns. It's in that presence that your story gains meaning. It's in that atmosphere that your soul breathes again. And don't be afraid. Don't fear the winds that may come after crossing this door. Even the winds obey my voice. Don't retreat before the giants that try to intimidate you. No giant stands against the name of your God. Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be opposition, because every door I open carries a sacred responsibility. Every promise carries the weight of glory. But don't forget, along with the promise, I give provision. Along with the calling, I give preparation. I am the God who doesn't send soldiers without armor. I am the Father who doesn't throw defenseless children into battle. So breathe. Receive now what I give you: unshakable faith, sufficient grace, spiritual authority that makes darkness tremble, discernment like a sharpened sword, fresh anointing like new oil. I clothe you with my strength. I cover you with my glory. I seal you with my spirit, like one seals a living letter sent directly from heaven to this generation. And now walk. Walk with a heart full of certainty that I go before you. Walk without looking to the sides, without measuring risks, without calculating costs out of fear. Walk like one who carries fire in their eyes. Walk like one surrounded by angels. Walk like one stepping on holy ground, because this new stage of your life is not ordinary soil. It is consecrated ground. Walk not with doubt, but with confidence. This is the time for those who believe beyond circumstances. It's the time for those who don't wait for perfection to say, "Here I am." It's the time for those who respond to the call even before they understand the destination, and I am with you. It is I who steady your steps. It is I who close the traps in your path. It is I who break bonds, who destroy chains, who silence the accusers. Walk, son, walk, daughter. Because as you walk, heaven moves with you. The door is open. Listen, the door is open, and it is not an illusion. It is real, a spiritual portal that manifests in the visible. It is the beginning of a new atmosphere over your home, your ministry, your emotions, your inner being. You are no longer where you were, not spiritually. Something has broken. Something has aligned. Something has activated. And on the other side of that door, there is not just a new phase, there is a new level of existence. A level where criticism no longer weighs you down, where the past no longer dictates your course, where fear is no longer at the center of your decisions, where your identity is not defined by praise or rejection, but by what I have called you to do. A level where you live as an heir, not a spiritual beggar. Where you act boldly because you know what covers you is my presence, not your performance. It's time to fly. Listen, it's time to open the wings of faith and leave behind the mental prison that told you you couldn't, that you weren't capable, that you weren't worthy. None of those voices come from me. I created you for heights. I formed you to break limits. I designed you to touch the eternal. That's why now, at this very moment, I remove the weights from your feet. I lift the burdens that wore you down. I break the chains of comparison. I destroy the lies that tied you to the past. You no longer need to prove your worth. You no longer need to compete for a place. You are a son, you are a daughter. And what is coming upon you now is solely because of my love, not because of works, not because of position, but because I chose you. I loved you first. And when I love, I prepare, I open, I provide. Walk, step firmly, speak with authority, act with mercy, love deeply, forgive easily, believe boldly. Because the time of doubt is gone, the waiting is over. Now is the time to cross. Now is the time to live in fullness. Now is the time to manifest heaven on earth through your life. And what awaits you on the other side of that door is greater than your boldest dreams. I'm covering your house with peace. I'm surrounding your children with protection. I'm aligning your health, your emotions, your mind, your finances. And all of this is happening not because you deserve it, but because you are under my covering. And as it is written, as it has been decreed, as I myself have said, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. So walk. Walk with your eyes fixed on me. Walk with your heart ablaze with my fire. Walk with your feet firmly on the rock. Walk with your soul free. Walk as one who knows that heaven is leaning toward them. Because this door is not the end of a cycle. It is the beginning of a harvest. The beginning of a season marked by miracles, by answers, by revelations, by deliverance. And all of that begins now, in this very moment. Because I, the Lord, have already gone before you. I have prepared the place. I have aligned the winds. I have released the resources. I have authorized the movement. And what begins now will be so impactful, so evident, so powerful that you will look back not with nostalgia, but with gratitude. Not with sorrow, but with reverence. Because this will be remembered as the time when heaven touched your earth, when the invisible manifested before your eyes, when my presence replaced absence, when faith defeated fear, when the promise spoke louder than the doubt. This will be the time when your life bears fruit that cannot be explained, when your story becomes an answer for others, when your voice carries the weight of glory, when your steps leave footprints of peace. Yes, my son, yes, my daughter, the door is open. And listen closely. No one can shut it. Not man, not fear, not the past, not hell, because it was heaven that opened it. It was my finger that turned the key. It was my voice that said, go. And when I say go, no force can stop you. Go, live, flourish, bear witness. Because what begins now will never be the same again. And as you move through this door, I begin to refine your discernment. No longer will you waste energy on distractions disguised as opportunities. I am sharpening your vision to see what is truly from me and what only carries the illusion of light. You will no longer chase shadows, you will walk in substance. This new season requires a heart that listens more than it speaks, a soul that waits in silence rather than fights for attention. I am forming within you a depth that cannot be faked, a clarity that does not depend on others to validate your calling. I'm making you whole in hidden places. Now I draw your attention to the relationships in your life. Some were seasonal, some were sent, and others were allowed to shape you. But as I open this door, I also begin to reorder your connections. Some ties will gently loosen, not as rejection, but as protection. And others will strengthen like roots entwined with purpose. The people I am bringing to walk with you now are not those who tolerate your presence. They are those who recognize your essence. They will not compete with your light, but reflect it back to you. They will speak life, challenge compromise, and hold you in prayer when the journey turns steep. And in this path, I will teach you how to guard your inner garden. No longer will you allow everyone to enter the sacred spaces of your heart. I'm teaching you how to be open without being unguarded, how to love deeply without inviting destruction. Wisdom will now be your companion. In the days ahead, I will call you to speak, not always with words, but with action, with presence, with integrity. Your life will become a language others can read. Without even trying, you will become a message, a living proof that I dwell among my people. But to carry that weight, you must remain light in spirit. That is why I am cutting away what burdens your soul unnecessarily. I am stripping away false responsibility and expectations I never placed on your shoulders. I want you free, not just externally, but internally. Free from guilt, free from comparison, free from pretense. Your yes to me has activated something greater than a shift in circumstances. It has released the preparation of vessels around you, places that will receive your voice, hands that will bless your steps, hearts that will be touched by what I've done in you. What I'm doing isn't just personal, it's generational. There are things that have followed your bloodline for years, patterns, fears, limitations, but I say to you now, they stop here. You will not pass on what I have delivered you from. The legacy I am shaping through your obedience will speak louder than the pain that preceded it. I have seen the tears you cried when no one was watching, the moments you worshipped with a broken heart, the days you showed up even when you felt empty, and all of it, I have woven it into power. What once drained you will now pour through you as oil for others. I am assigning purpose to every scar, meaning to every season of silence. Not one moment was wasted, not even the ones you would rather forget. I was there holding your story, even when it seemed like it was falling apart. I've been writing a masterpiece with the ink of surrender. Now, my child, I call you deeper, not to impress, not to perform, but to abide, to remain so close to me that storms become background noise, to walk in such rhythm with my spirit that you no longer react to pressure, but respond to purpose. I'm not building a performer, I'm forming a dwelling place. And in this place of intimacy, you will find rest, not the rest of sleep, but the rest of alignment, the peace of knowing you are where you are meant to be, the calm of knowing you are doing what you were created to do. I'm removing striving from your soul and replacing it with certainty. I am going to surprise you with provision, not just to meet needs, but to remove fear. You will no longer live by survival mode. I will teach you how to plan with hope again, how to dream with joy again, how to prepare not from panic, but from peace. And with every open door, I will increase your responsibility, not as pressure, but as privilege. You are not being elevated for applause, but for assignment. This is not about platforms, it's about people. It's not about influence, it's about impact. And you will see the difference. I will give you influence, yes, but not to draw attention to yourself. I will place you in rooms, in conversations, in moments of decision. And there, your voice will carry the fragrance of heaven. Not because of volume, but because of presence. My presence. In those places, don't imitate anyone. I didn't open the door to make you a copy. I brought you in as a representation of what I've done in you. Don't water down your authenticity to fit the mold of others. Stand firm in who I made you to be. There will be moments where silence will speak louder than sermons. Don't fear being misunderstood. When I open the door, I also open ears that will hear the truth in your tone, the message in your spirit. And for those who resist, I will handle the response. Your job is to walk in integrity. Watch how I restore your voice. The voice you once hid, the voice that was silenced by fear or shame, it's coming back with fire, not for argument, but for awakening. You will speak with authority, not because you studied for it, but because you lived through it. Your testimony will not be polished. It will be powerful, because it will carry the weight of survival, the sound of deliverance, the wisdom of scars. I will teach you how to tell your story not as a victim of the past, but as a vessel of redemption. You will no longer fear vulnerability, because in this new realm, transparency is strength, honesty is healing, and your openness will be the very door through which others walk into my presence. I'm shifting your time. What used to be wasted will now be multiplied. What once felt like delay will now be seen as divine timing. I'm putting acceleration on your obedience. Things that took years before will happen in months, because your heart is aligned. Don't measure your progress by the noise of others. Your path is unique. Some grow in the light, but others are formed in the dark. I grew you in silence, so your roots would be deep enough to withstand the weight of where I'm taking you. And now the harvest begins, not just of things, but of insight, of maturity, of revelation. You will begin to understand why it had to happen the way it did. I will connect the dots. I will bring clarity, and that clarity will give you courage. You will start to discern the difference between urgent and important. The world will keep calling for your attention, but I'm training your spirit to respond only to my whisper. No longer will you burn yourself out for what doesn't matter. I will give you joy again, not the kind that depends on outcomes, but the kind that flows from within. Laughter will return to your lips. Hope will return to your plans. Wonder will return to your worship. There is a renewal coming to your creativity. Ideas will flow again. Songs will rise again. Strategies will align again. I didn't let those gifts die. I allowed them to rest so they could resurrect with deeper oil. You're entering a time where what you carry will begin to attract what aligns. No more striving, no more begging. You will be pursued by what is meant for you. Your presence will become a signal to the right environments. And I will surround you with those who speak your language, not just with words, but with spirit. You will not have to explain your fire, they will recognize it. You will not have to justify your hunger, they will share it. This is also a time of pruning. I will remove what hinders you, even if it hurts at first. But what I take away, I replace with what nourishes. This is not subtraction. It is sacred subtraction for the sake of multiplication.